Alright, just give me a little moment, guys. I'm just setting up. Now you should see me. Okay, so we have a slightly different schedule out here today. Not in terms of time, but we are still driving in GPLRACER today. So this time it's not for any kind of championship, but it's rather just a race for fun during the winter break. And we are driving the special ThunderCars Mod, which is a fantasy mod which contains some cars based from the USAC series in the 1970s, with made big tires, big engines, huge top speeds. That at this track, with the setup I have, I think without any drag, without any slipstream, I should say, I think it can go easily at 230 miles per hour, which comes down to about 370 kilometers per hour, if I'm correct. And we're back at Monza 10K. We've driven there last time with the 1966 cars. Race did not go very well on my end. However, this race doesn't really have any stakes. We're just driving to have a little bit of fun out here tonight. There is no real trouble if we are going to crash, because we are driving on intermediate mode, which means you can reset your car in the event of a crash. So coming at the end of the straight, it's we clock at 222, and I completely botched Cover Grande there. So yeah, that's two tires off my car. I'm gonna make sure the other guys are not going to crash into me. We just reset and we can move on from here. Need a little bit of time to warm up, as it seems. Physics-wise, these cars are actually quite interesting. I think they're about the same as the original 1967 cars from Grand Prix Legends. Though with the added speed, there's also a lot more tire heat you can get into these tires. I mean, it's very easy to overheat these. So some tire management is going to be required today. So it's just a matter of taking the corners as gently as we can. Lots of tire skid marks, and the exit of the northern banked curve. Must be riding the cars actually fairly low. I also feel my car is bottoming out a little bit on it. First lap is 2:25, which all, of course, with that crash at the beginning. A little earlier here. Much better. For the ThunderCars, they have a peak brake horsepower at of 660, I believe, which is reaching at 7,000 RPM, but you can easily increase that to about 7,800. That's about the optimal shifting range for these cars. So they have a lot to work with. There's a car crashed out at a parabolica. Okay, so we've done a clean lap now. We just have to manage the oval, but so far it's looking like we're going to drive a 2:05. Should be good for provisional pole. The car might do with a couple of extra changes. I can see that the rear right camber isn't perfectly aligned. On the other tires they look pretty fine. You can see on the left rear that it's already overheating a little bit. It's a bit of a yellowish color. There's a car staying still on the right. Trying to navigate these corners as smoothly as I can. Just not to get too much heat into the tires. Still a couple of drivers joining the grid here. The thing with these fundraisers is often that the grids will also be a fair bit quieter. As most drivers just want to take a little break from the racing and just not use the sim for a few weeks. And especially a mod as this one, the ThunderCars, it's barely ever used. I did host a championship with it, I think last year or the year before in GPLRACER, but it attracted very few drivers because it's a very difficult mod to handle. Improved our lap time a little bit. Oh, we gave it a little bit too much there, and yeah, that's what happens when you overheat the tires. They just lose the grip and you spin out. So one thing we're going to do now is that we're just gonna park it up. We're gonna have a little look at the setup, make a few little changes. A little look at the grid so far. 4, 6, 7, 9. Okay, so far we have 9 drivers. It's honestly not that bad. I expected a lower attendance, but we almost made double figures so far. So I'm not positively surprised. Might help if I add some bump brother and maybe a little extra ride height, and want to give it a little bit more balance down the banking. Other than that, you know, I have very big ramp angles because otherwise, you know, the car doesn't really feel like it's going to turn in. You really want that agility, especially if you have winged cars. I like the diffs to be more open than with the non-winged cars. I use you know, just only a very slight bit of wing. It's only 2.5 at the front and 3.25 at the back. You can put it all the way up to 15, but at a track as this one, you do not want that. You really want to have as much top speed as possible, but have a little bit of speed so to take in the corners. So that's why I use a very narrow amount of wing. Right, let's get a couple more laps in. We've got David right in front of us. Maybe he can join us. Do a couple of laps together. I think he's really moving, so we'll just go on ahead. We've got Pavel passing us now. Thing also about the ThunderCars is that there are 7 slots for 7 chassis, like you have with the original 67 mod and 65 mod. Though all cars are actually completely equal. It's just that they have a couple of different skins and there's not much else different about them. We're getting a good bit of slipstream here. We are getting at 234 miles at the straight. That's just how fast these things are. Oh, we let the car go. Hit the guardrail, but I think we should be fine. Banking, let's see here what we can do in terms of slipstream from the car of Pavel. Significant time gains you can see from the times up above. Valve will hit the edge at the outside of Curva Grande. Too much throttle. That's how easy it happens. Seeing quite a few people watching here tonight so far. How are you all doing tonight? Well, we got someone coming out of the pits here. Maybe you can catch up. Practice the draft of the cars a little bit. I think there's still people joining out there. The track we are driving today is Monza, but this is the 10-kilometer layout. So that's the standard track and the banked oval combined. But anyway, hello to you, La Metaphysique and Svobot. Good evening to you too. I'm probably a bit of an alien in Grumpy Legend standards, but if you take me into another sim, I can guarantee I am not quite that fast as here. Not a little improvement, 4/10. My left rear is very hot though. stop the wall. Oh, no, there goes the car. Yeah, overheating tire once again. It's going to be a bit of a burden this race. And the only thing I might be able to do is maybe like soften the suspension on that side, but I'm not really sure if I really want to do that. Because it will upset might upset the balance of the car, and I think it's a bit too much stinging to do when there's only a couple of laps left in the race, couple of minutes left in practice. So I think we're just gonna fuel it up and yeah, maybe have a little bit of a feeling of how the car drives with a bit more fuel on board. I appreciate it, man. Happy you can make it. If only if it was for qualifying, but happy to have any viewers at all, so until next time. Oh, I almost went over there. Not what you want to happen, because if it happens, you go over the banking, there is a risk that you could get a CTD, and so I mean, meaning that even if you would like, well, you will always survive the accident right now because you can reset the car, but there is a little chance that you get a crashed desktop. And that occasionally happens in some tracks, especially the heavier ones in Grand Prix Legends. I mean, Monza, this track has them, but there are also a lot of spots on the full Isle of Man circuit, where many places are just death traps. Where if you have one heavy crash, you flip over, that your car, your whole system just boots off the game. Little skill issue moment. Gotta say, between 3rd and 7th, qualifying is actually quite close. So there might be some interesting racing going on. If they do not crash into one another, that is. There isn't a lot of space to race because these cars are very big. I think they're even bigger than the Can-Am cars we sometimes drive, so... well, you know the issues with the big Formula 1 cars of today, they are so huge that they do not really promote a lot of good racing. So yeah, you can race with them, but it takes a lot more care than you do with the smaller real-life 1960s cars that we are driving in. Alright, we'll just waiting for the drivers to complete the final laps. I don't expect too much change in the final classifications, but let's see, Paul, final to cross the line, he moves up to P3. Okay. Fine, double check. Fuel is fine. Maybe a gallon or two more. I think these cars are actually first here, then they let on. Right, let's just join the grid. "22 laps. There goes the flag. Bit of a slow reaction time, but I think over the start was okay. Oh, things are really looking to go wrong in the background, but I think everyone more or less survived. Oh. Stefan in the guardrail. A bit of trouble with the heavy load and cold tires, I suppose. Right behind him, but there isn't really much space to pass. And a lot of this is probably going to go down in the banking anyway. Just gonna have to be conservative about this race. I mean, we know that at least Paul is going to join us anyway, and maybe some others behind us as well, with the big toe of these cars. All making a move on us both. I think that Steven is running a higher wing than both of us. I have the idea that his top speed is only going as high as to 15 or something in clean air. Could be wrong, but I felt he was a little draggy on the straight. Green flag, so there's an incident behind us. A couple of names have disappeared from the top 6. Ball is sliding a lot, it's not good for the tires. I think Donny behind us might have a chance to pick up with us. Yeah, it's looking like to be a 4-way fight. Oh, he hit the barrier, but... we recovered. Maybe go for a pass ourselves. No. We don't have the overspeed. Right, let's take the front for a moment, shall we? Oh, look at Donny. Left rear is getting hot. And the group of 4 has now become a group of 5. Tiago Mago has joined the club. Oh, Donny again riding the guardrail on the outside. Somehow still keeps it from flying over. And he's going ahead of us. Something tells me he has no wing and oh look, Stefan behind us. Made a 360. I think he came out okay though. I'm gonna take this gently. I mean, look at the tire, it is well into orange territory. All is back in our mirrors. You know, even though I opt for the a little bit more wing, you can see from Donny's high speed that actually having no wings at all, I think, really pays its dividends. May actually have been a better strategy in hindsight. I mean, he loses a lot in the corners, but he more than makes up for it in the straight. Even if I had like a lot of slipstream from his car, I just couldn't match up to him. I think at this point we are really just figuring stuff out. If we can actually get to Donny, how close we need to be to him when we're getting to the end of the race. Alright, so we could get close enough to him. Get alongside, but not enough to get by him. So we got a bit of a problem for the end game. Look at the tires now at 340 Fahrenheit. Keep it up, we might set the tire on fire. There is a pole right beside me. Oh, he stayed behind me. He wasn't making the pass. Oh yeah, no kidding, it's getting overheated. It's just too much speed that it can handle, really. He died from Paul. Steven's still behind me. Okay, maybe we should just try to follow Paul, and maybe he has a little lower wing setup than ours. Oh, I don't think he's really keeping up himself either. Yeah, I'm afraid there's not much we can do about the tire. You know, I keep the movement of my wheel as minimum as possible, but you know, it still heats up really badly, and I don't think grass is going to do anything. I've not heard anything about a visit of GPL actually doing something about it. Paul tries to overtake Donny into Parabolica. Brakes late. Oh, couldn't quite do it though. And the overspeed of that car is just ginormous. Oh, we got Stephen right behind us, but he's back down. Yeah, if I'm struggling, these guys definitely should struggle with the tires as well. There's been talked a lot about plenty of love in the forums leading up to the race. Ball getting by Donny. Going very slow through the corners, but was not comfortable really getting by him. While going through the banking now, I can see that Donny is catching up with relative ease. Oh, look at that, he's going to overtake Paul back at the south banking. A bit hairy, handling wise. Well, there aren't really any blowouts or punctures in Grand Prix Legends. Those things don't really happen. It's not been coded into the game. It only really happens when you like hit a wall or anything, when you get damage. But there are no real punctures out of itself. The only thing that really can happen here is that the tire is getting incredibly hot, but and you lose a lot of grip, but that's all that really happens here. So we can only really manage the tire, but we do not really have to fear for a tire blowout or anything. Yeah, let's not. I think these cars are already as deadly as they are. Okay, gonna back in second place again, see if we can do anything with Donny ourselves. Really French with those hot tires. Yeah, indeed. When I said something, then that was probably the result of any form of contact damage. Steven was having a look on the inside, but thought better of it. At this point the left rear isn't the only tire that's getting very hot. Left front is getting orange, right rear is getting orange. It's only the right front that's holding off well, but you know, they have barely any load to deal with, so... The thing he has to do is right here. And that's it. I think I shall stay from going to the right, looking for a pass by. He's very late on the brakes. But he held it together. Okay, let's see what he's got. I think he's running roughly the same seconds as I do in terms of wing angles. Have a look on the inside of Parabolica. Oh, we get a little close there, don't we? These cars are big, we do not have trouble. Oh, side by side through the banking. These guys are madmen. Oh, they were very close to contact there. Ball in turn almost hitting me. So far we keep on surviving out in front. Did not went so well with the 1966 cars, and they were a lot smaller, so maybe it's just the awareness of the whole situation. Donny is going to get back past Stefan again. I got Paul right beside me. I just gotta let him go. I think it's not worth going side by side through here. Oh, Stefan! Oh, he somehow kept it out. He just about didn't crash. I mean, I already saw what happened there. He just took a little bit too much of the inside. And with that just bounced. Oh, no. This is not good for me. This is not good for me. Yeah, he took a little bit too much of the inside and just bounced into the barrier on the outside, but somehow just didn't crash. Oh, hole in the wall. Yeah, meanwhile I was talking too much. Oh, now it went really wrong between Paul and Tago. I think Tago is still in it though. But yeah, fatigue is, I guess that is settling in now. But yeah, I just also had a moment at the Curve Grande, which wasn't really good for me. Now I'm getting a little bit out of touch with Donny and Stefan, but I think we can still keep up. Especially when we enter the Grand Prix circuit. Purple sector. So we do it here too, getting close to 240 miles per hour. I think if you go at the Monza straight at Le Mans and drive these cars, no wings at all, I think you can easily go over 250, maybe even 260. Oh, now those go wrong between Donny and Stefan. I think there was a light touch off the rear there, but I don't think an insane amount of time is lost. I think he's still in the race. These two together. Got the corner so wrong there. Yeah, I completely butchered it for myself. Well, there go my chances, but still try and make the best of it. Got 6 laps, well, 5.5 laps left. Might still be a chance to catch up with the cars in front. I know Paul is quick. Of course, the fighting also costs you a couple of seconds. Just gonna fight it with these very hot tires. I already sense we're getting close to the top 3, so there's still merit. I'm just gonna go get by Paul. We'll just use each other's slipstream to... Well, I'm not really gaining into Paul actually. I'll just have to tuck behind him again. Oh, he messed up the corner. Alright, then I'll get by. Juking it out through Parabolica. There's a green flag. I think Paul made another mistake, so I don't think he's too much concerned for the final 3.5 laps of this race. Cars are beginning to bottom out again. You see all these stripes on the banking. Oh, car going half in the grass. They're being feisty. But I say we have caught up to him again. Race is not lost. little squirmy there, but not too much going on right now. There's a left car in front of us. Leaves us the space. Tiger stayed on this could go so wrong. But it just about did not. I feel that these two are fighting a little bit too much to keep up well enough with Donny in front. Going very wide for Ascari. Tiger brakes very early. Or just stay from braking very, very late. Either way, it felt like I almost missed my brake mark, but Donny was riding the banking a little high, but I don't think he made contact with the guardrail. Got 2 laps left. How do we beat the monster riding without any wings? That's a big question. Look at these two. Going so far wide. But I'm taking always second place for Stefan, which was... Well, frankly, that is exactly what I wanted. I want to be right behind Donny on this next half lap. I can take the final lap, take charge. Alright, final lap. This is where it's going to matter. Oh, he's spinning! Oh, Stefan collects! Dago more or less got... No, he didn't get through. Oh, it's a freeway pileup. Oh, my goodness me. I can't believe it. Victory was just... handed over to me. Oh, what an anticlimax this. Right, we'll just take him home from here. Oh, that was such good fun until, yeah, what just happened at the final lap there? I actually believe that he just lost control, but I think also that maybe Stefan had a CTD, so he crashed out. No, he is not. You know, because of what happened. Wait, what? Why is Tago? I feel like Tago is actually a lap ahead of us somehow due to some glitch. Ah, you're not gonna tell me he just won the race because of a glitch. Well, but you know, I believe that's actually a technicality. I don't see a flag, man. Alright, I am actually really confused right now. What is going on? Was there racing now, or... I actually think we're still racing, because there are no flagmen waving the flags, which is what they usually do when a race is ended. Alright, we'll just drive another lap, I guess. Even my pitboard says anything special. Doesn't say anything about pitting in, so we'll just drive another lap. Again, Mago says lap 23 instead of 22, so I think somewhere something went wrong with the timing of the game. Okay, one last time through the banking here. I think right now we should see a flagman up ahead. I still don't see anyone. What? How many laps was the race again? It was 22, right? I think the other drivers have stopped racing already, so... Oh, really? I really don't know anymore at this point. Mago makes it lap 24. What do we say now? I feel like most have already... Yeah, I think the game just messed up. Now, if I still don't see a flagman after this one, I'm just gonna call it quits. I'm just gonna park the car and... well, the admins will sort itself. actually really do not know what's going on anymore. The race definitely shouldn't be lasting as long as it does now. Still no flag, man. Yeah, I think the game's just broken at this point. Or did I get something wrong now? No. Look. Lap 22 and somehow we are still going. What on earth is going on? I hope this message gets through because I think nobody else has an idea what's going on right now. Only these two are driving at this point. Yeah. I mean, look at that. Tiger Marco set the incredible lap record of doing the Monza 10K in only 3.2 seconds. Try beating that lap time. Also, these two are still going. I think the message is not coming through to them. They'll be stuck racing until the end of time. Yeah, I think Paul's now waiting for Dave, and I think they're both really have no idea what's going on at this point. Yeah, Groundhog Day. Yeah, you know what? We're not going to stay any longer here. You know, we have another race going on a little later. So you know, we just want to prepare for that and. We'll see what happens between these two later in the forums. Alright, with that, yeah, we're gonna take a little break and in a few moments time we'll be seeing you for the race at Silverstone with the 9055 mod. Alright, see you in a bit. Alright, and we are back. We've moved on from the massive, powerful ThunderCars to one of the slowest in terms of pace. And of all the comprehensive mods, we are now driving the 1955 cars. And they're still doing a championship, the 1955 one, and this is the finale for them. And we are driving the Lancia D50 today. Very fast vehicle, we should have like good pace on them, but again, I predict this race also will be a bit of a slipstream festival. So we should see some entertaining races. So far with the 55 mod, we have been pretty successful with them. We got 2 second places and 1 victory. Using a Ferrari, a Maserati, and a Connaught last time out at Zandvoort. Now we're out here at Silverstone in one of the fastest cars of the grid, with the token side left for this championship. Wave yellows. Another Lancia. Having a little bit of trouble. Gears need a significant amount of tweaking. I mean, I think 5th is alright, but 2nd, 3rd and 4th are just too high, too small. They need to be a little bit longer. Someone parked in the tree. I'll head straight back to the pits, get the game sorted. I think after that we can have a little look at the handling. It feels alright at this point. Nice even numbers. tires maybe also a little bit too soft. You want the hot to be about 40 psi, and when it's 33 you're not gonna get there. Alright, take two. Only third gear could be a bit higher, but otherwise I'm much happier with gearing now. Not bad for a first lap. Completely overcooked that one. You want to stay off the pinkish pavement in the final corner because your car is going to spin if you take too much of the inside. Let's make a couple more changes. Gonna add some more on the second and third, and with 4 and 5 I'm pretty happy now. We can take some off from the left side of the car. And a little bit more to the coast. Just have a little bit less of the understeer these cars have. Hold up. Third stint. Still Phil Frampton. There's a very strong left pull at time, but I'm not really sure what the context behind this. Might be that they're driving a Mercedes or something. I'm not quite sure. I haven't met them on track yet. Here's our lap. We get it into the 142s, but not quite as fast as his lap. careful with the brakes now. Just a fair bit of brake power. You can see it on the dot. If you look at the rev counter, there's a dot that goes green, yellow or red. And if it's yellow or red, that means that much of the brakes don't really work as they should anymore. Tracks with heavy braking are usually something you have to manage, but there are a lot of tracks where it rarely is an issue at all, but it is a little bit here at Silverstone. Too much slip angle. Oh, and now I clip the grass. I think I'm gonna head back to the pits again and have a little look at how the other drivers are doing and what cars they are driving. Yeah, I'm just messing around a little bit. Let's see what kind of car Phil is driving today. It's a Mercedes. Let's see if he's actually driving. Yes, he's driving the open-wheeled version. So is Reiner and Darwin. All in open wheels, and other than that we have a pretty decent mix of Lancias, we've got a couple of Maseratis, we've got a Van Wall. Mostly Lancias though, from what I see. The field is a little small for what I expected. Right, for now I don't really fancy too much practice. We'll just let it go for a moment, and we'll be racing in about 10 minutes time. Alright, qualifying almost over now. Looks like my time has not quite have been matched. Phil's still pushing though. No, not anymore. Row in having no time at all, I believe. Oh yeah, he's at the back. Loins in 6th. Darwin in 11th. Policardi in 7th. Don't see too many improvements on the final laps. Alain Maurice, currently P5, still P5. Evil, still P4 I think. So we have Loins for one more lap. Right, we just wait it out. I think it's just him going to finish his lap. We can get to the race. I don't think he's going to get too far though, given the amount of slides he's making. Okay, that was qualifying. We got pole position. There's on by not much, about 1.5 tenths. I think there are the chances that maybe the top 7 is going to be in a battle for first, but maybe I'll be wrong, maybe not. Alright, here we go. Just waiting for the flagman. There he is. Flag going up. And on we go. Start is good. No problems at the start, I can see from behind me. Overshot it a bit. Phil had a look on the inside but withdrew the attack. Well, either going very far wide. He's completely lost the brakes or something. Just lost a few places. So I'm not sure what. Whoever it was, he left the session. Oh, fatigue is getting up to me. Anyway, it seems that traffic right behind me is not really able to keep up so well, while Phil is still pretty close, but I think I'm increasing the gap. Across there. It's getting pretty clear for me that maybe driving a Lancia is maybe a little overpowered car for me with this grid. cancelled already quite a few drivers out of the race. Cliff Wons is not there, Matt Rowe, and I think also Evo is no longer driving. I think it was also said in the chat that this race was going to be done in Pro mode, so no resets when there is an accident. Down there is also, of course, the fortune. There is a decent amount of runoff at Silverstone. Wish there was a lot of exciting things to say about the Grand Prix, but there isn't really much to go about. Now Phil is still trailing me, but yeah, there's not too much exciting things going on right now. And honestly, I'm pretty beat at this point. Long day, of course. The energy is just a little bit low at this point. goes now. Pretty close to attacking range though. Might have snipped on the inside, but not yet. I've done it. Also gone. A lot of attrition this race. It isn't really that difficult of a track. Out. I think there's still loose cars still hanging around somewhere. Yeah, there we have the car of Pete losing a wheel and burning engine. So pretty big accident happened there. too many bumps here and there. With the halfway point though. It's a fair slide, but no spins. Forgiving at times. You should not. This is what I think.
dipped a little bit in the grass there.
was crushed out. Yeah, that just leaves us without any form of contest, so yeah. We have 10 laps left to drive. For me, let's just drive to the finish, and I don't think there's much exciting left to offer for the rest of the last few 15 to 20 minutes. Yeah, a bit of a weird race result that we're going to see here. There are a lot of well, typical high runners in UKGPL. They all retired from the race so far. And Cliff is usually up high, Evo's up high, Aline was up high, Pete, Phil. Oh, and an accident at some point. There. change some more details again. It's note also that card pictures have been inverted from they should be, so yeah. Oops. A little bit of traffic up ahead. A little bit of grass there on the braking. Yeah, I'm not really concentrating anymore, just whew. Yeah, these cars are great fun indeed. Typically, actually, kind of dislike cars that are like front engine but rear axled. But you know, these cars are still great to drive. Right, just navigating through some lap traffic. No trouble there. Around the outside here. Rather little curb there, but got that under control. Turn left. There's the flag. Come on, park her up. I need to do much of my house. I'm just really tired at this point. I just want to call it a night. Right then. There was 2 races. One was very entertaining, and you know the second one with the 1955 cars. It ended up being a little bit dull, but you know they can't all be bangers. So, what's the plan for the remainder of the year? I think this is going to be the last one. Taking a break from streaming next week. I might try, but I don't know if I will be streaming. The 30th, I have nothing planned for streaming. There are no races, and I'm also probably not available to race. So the next one will probably be next year on January 3rd. So yeah, this is probably the last time this year. I don't know if that I just want to say thank you for tuning in, and well, see you next year in any case. See ya.